I just got this Pits and Spits Maverick 1250 and I'm trying to decide the first thing that I want to cook on it. Let me think. Brisket, of course. An overnight brisket where you won't lose any sleep, and not only that, we're going for a Texas-style super dark bark. It's going to be juicy and succulent because I'm using all of the brisket tricks and hacks I know for pellet grills, starting with this one, the upper rack. I'm placing the brisket on the upper rack of the Maverick at 7 p.m. the night before, and I'm setting it to 190 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, it may seem too great to be true, but placing the brisket on the upper grate of your pellet grill is the #1 secret to getting great results. That's because pellet grills are, well, grills. It's right there in the name. And like any grill, the heat is radiating directly from the heat source below and directly into the meat. All that raw, nasty, radiant heat is great for grilling, but it's the enemy of low and slow cooking. So if we don't defeat that radiant heat somehow, it's going to cook this brisket twice as fast and dry it out like an old boot. Now, giving that brisket standoff distance from the radiant heat below coming from the deflector plate and the burn pot is going to help a lot. But the real reason it's helpful is because we can slip this bad boy underneath the brisket, a water pan. Water is extremely effective as a thermal sink, not to be confused with this kind of sink. A thermal sink is a reservoir that absorbs heat without significantly changing temperature. And it just so happens that water is really good at that for reasons I explained for 15 minutes but didn't include in this video because it's just TMI. All you need to know is it defeats the evil radiant energy bad guys coming from below the brisket, so all you're left with is nice, gentle, convective heat cooking your brisket. And after 12 hours of that gentle, convective heat cooking the brisket at 190, I'm opening the lid to check on things. It's around 7 a.m. in the morning, my time, and this brisket is looking actually pretty good. The overnight cook at a very low temperature has allowed the Maverick to create a lot of smoke over a long period of time, and we now have the start of a very nice dark bark. But we're not done yet. We still need to cook the brisket some more and fully render the fat cap, and we need to darken up the bark a little bit more. So I'm placing some ice in the water pan. There's some more science stuff here, but long story short, phase changes from ice to water and from water to steam, they suck up a lot more heat energy than just raising the temperature of plain old water that I might add to this water pan. So in short, the ice is making this water pan a better thermal sink. And now I'm increasing the temperature of the Maverick to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. We need this higher temperature to get the brisket done faster, but most importantly, to get enough convective heat to the top of the brisket to properly render that fat cap. Don't worry, that huge water pan full of ice is going to prevent the brisket from getting burned. That's why it's there. I'd like to take a minute to thank the sponsor for this video, Pits and Spits. Pits and Spits is a manufacturer of fully welded, handmade smokers out of Houston, Texas. They make offsets, trailer smokers, and grills, but they also make what I call real pellet grills. And the Maverick 1250 is one of them. It's got a PID controller that holds rock-steady temperatures and a smart probe to monitor the internal temperature of your meat. A huge hopper that can hold more than a full bag of pellets, and it's fully welded steel. When I opened this for the first time, I could just feel the quality and workmanship that went into it. Most importantly for me, I really like the top slide-out grill, which is absolutely essential for getting a good brisket, like I've said in this video. And the bottom grill even slides out so I don't have to reach back into the smoker all the time. Really awesome feature. Also important for me is the heavy-duty deflector plate above the burn pot and a thick drip plate over top of that. So it's got multiple layers of steel between the burn pot and the brisket, which blocks a lot of that radiant heat from drying out your meat. Again, if you look over here, welded steel. Over here, more welded steel. It's beefy, it's chunky, it's heavy metal. Very different than other pellet grills that you buy in big box stores that are mass-produced in another country. This pellet grill is hand-welded with thick-gauge steel, and I know my son is going to be grilling and smoking on it 30 or 40 years from now. I'll post a link in the description section below if you're interested in investing in a real pellet grill that's going to be an heirloom in your family for years to come. Seriously excited about this because it's really the best grill I've ever owned, and I'm grateful for Pits and Spits building and sending this to me. All right, let's get back to this brisket. After 5 hours at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, my brisket is probing around 175 to 185 degrees Fahrenheit internal, depending on where I probe it. And I'm happy that it can come off the smoker now. Now, if I was forced to write this down as a recipe, which I am, it's in the description section below, then I would say cook the brisket for 5 hours or until it hits an internal temperature of 190, whatever happens sooner. What that means is that in this case, I cooked the brisket for 5 hours and it hit 175 to 185, depending on where I probed it, and I took it off the grill because it was 5 hours. If it hit 190 after even 2 hours or 3 hours, I would still remove it from the grill. So whatever happens sooner, just make sure that it doesn't go above 190 and you'll be fine. After 190, that's when briskets start to rapidly dry out and lose a lot of moisture. So we're trying to stay below that temperature zone. Don't worry, the next step is going to iron out any lingering toughness in the brisket and ensure that it's going to be super juicy and tender. Now, when the brisket comes off the Maverick, I'm wrapping it in tallow-soaked butcher paper. Sometimes I like to do 50-50 tallow and clarified butter, and sometimes I even pour a bit of extra on the brisket before wrapping. Now I'm double wrapping it in foil with half a cup of water added. That's going to add a little bit more moisture and help the brisket cook more evenly. It's much easier to use a small foil pan covered with foil, but I'm out of pans, so I'm just double wrapping it here in foil. Then I'm placing the brisket in my electric smoker and holding it at a steady 150 degrees Fahrenheit. You can also use a toaster oven, a sous vide holder, or just use your oven and look up in your manual how to adjust temperatures down to 150 because most ovens only go down to around 175. I explain all these options in a video I'll link in the top right of the screen. I'm holding the brisket for 5 to 6 hours now until dinner time at 6 p.m. I'm not resting it down in temperature or anything. It just goes straight into the holding oven after wrapping. This short hold is like a supercharged resting period for the brisket. It's going to iron out any lingering toughness and ensure the brisket is super juicy. And finally, right before dinner, I'm removing it to slice and eat. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. Wow, this looks super dark, super smoky. I'm really excited about this. And now I'm going to slice this down the middle. We'll give it a cut there. I can already tell it's super tender. And usually the test is, on any brisket I cook on a pellet grill, if it starts hitting resistance as I get closer to the bottom, then I'll know that I overcooked the bottom and I was getting too much radiant heat from the pellet grill. But in this case, I can tell right away that I didn't get that issue at all. So here we go. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty. Love it. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It bends over on my finger. It is super tender. I'm gonna pull it apart for you guys. Look at that, that just pulls apart like nothing. Okay, let's give it a taste and see how much smoky flavor it has. Super flavorful, super juicy. It is smoky, it is delicious. I can definitely taste the smoke, and I'm loving this brisket. Guys, if you want to make amazing brisket like the one you saw me cook in this video with all of the convenience and benefits of a pellet grill, then be sure to check out the Maverick 1250 by Pits and Spits. I'll link it in the description section below. It allowed me to make this amazing brisket with super dark bark, super smoky, and I'm looking forward to many more cooks on this grill. It's fast becoming my favorite pellet grill that's in my backyard. Thanks so much and happy smoking.